Well, I hate to say I told you so, but okay, and I don't want anyone to have lost money on this move to the downside, not at all. It sucks losing money, but sometimes people are mean to me and I can be a little bit petty, but that's not what we're here to talk about, okay? So in the last video, if you don't know what I'm welling you about, we were talking about Solana. We were talking about the move to the downside. We were talking about how Solana is going to be the tell for this week, in my opinion. Now, since that happened, we were talking about it when Solana was right over here. So Solana went a little bit higher and took a little bit longer than I had initially thought. Of course, we were in the position. The Nexus knew this is the current situation with the Solana trade. So it went really well, okay? The Nexus printed this week. It was pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but it was pretty obvious, okay? The executional part of it was a little bit more difficult than the actual obviousness of the move itself, but today I wanted to give you a update. And remember, I said Solana was the tell of the market. Now, quick side tangent before we get into the analysis here. Guys, I can only speak for myself, okay? I can only speak for myself here, and for me personally, many people watch a lot of altcoins. And listen, to each their own, okay? If you're the type that does that and you can long and short 10 different coins, great. What I do is I pick one that looks the best and then I focus on that one, because otherwise your brain can quickly turn into spaghetti sauce in regards to oh, are we bullish? Are we bearish? This looks bullish. This looks bearish, whatever. But if you just pick one that looks solid like Solana did, and you focus on that, then you're not going to get cluttered, okay? Now, if you didn't see the last video, go watch it because you need to know the context. But let's talk about what happened here with Solana, okay? And let's talk about if I think that the move is done. So on Twitter, I've been posting this whole time, by the way, what I think is going to happen. You know, I've been keeping this Solana thread alive on Twitter. And in my opinion, right now, Solana has put the absolute worst case scenario, okay? And I'll tell you why. So the idea that the market was going to roll over and why it was pretty obvious was because Solana looked like absolute shite, okay? That being said, we had one low on Sol, two lows on Sol, and three lows on Sol that have not been swept. So we had three semi-equal lows, and we had, poor structure, poor follow-through. It was obvious that we were looking for a pullback. It was obvious that Solana was going to lead the market, which is what the last video was about. Now, Solana's current situation is a little peculiar, and it's not in a good way. I'll tell you why. Number one, we never took out the main low, okay? You could argue that we don't need to take out the main low because what's your structure? You have low, you have high, you have higher low, you have higher high. However, it's a lot better if we did take out the main low. Because we did not take out the main low, we are looking for some form of range to form where we're at currently and potentially come down one more time to sweep that low, hit our inducement block down here, and then potentially roll to the upside. Remember, what my initial plan was on Solana and what I've been updating the Nexus all week was to get the pullback. Actually, what's funny is I drew out the Solana plan literally perfectly. I knew that this was going to come up here. I thought we were going to come up a little bit higher and backtest, 161. But we had this exact path, and the Nexus can attest to it. We had this exact path, and then it was an accumulation here. It was either going to go boom, boom, or just straight down. It obviously chose to go just straight down. Anyway, now the plan is the market bottomed out? Or that's the question. And the answer is, I don't know. It sucks because Solana, like I said, did the absolute worst case scenario. It took two of the three lows and didn't take the main low. And I was heavily focused on the main low. So it really sucks that the current situation. But here's what I will say. Bitcoin came down and hit really nice support. Okay, Bitcoin absolutely hit nice support. That is something that is something to note, and that is something that is important. Okay, Bitcoin found support on a very good low. USDT dominance right now is also in a peculiar situation. I know I didn't say that word correctly, but it's also in a peculiar situation because right now USDT dominance's structure is it hit a high time frame POI back when Bitcoin initially hit 100K. Okay, we had a high time frame POI. We flipped structure bearishly, which is telling me that this order block should hold. However, we have this inducement block above. So basically, as you can see on the screen, what's drawn out is either here, lower high, lower low, or higher high, SFP, lower low, which would mean Bitcoin would probably roll over one more time, take out 100K, right? Maybe go to 98, 97, and then go up from there. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. The problem is we don't have any good structure to work with right now. So I can't tell you with definity what's going to happen. My preferred scenario is to come down and take at least the low one more time, because my plan all week long, and as per my video on Sunday, go back and watch it, was that basically there's no longs to be had until Solana hit 140.19. Well, I'll tell you this. Solana never hit 140.19. So if at any point this upward structure fails, well, guess where we're targeting again? 140.19. Take out those semi-equal lows. Bitcoin will probably make one more low, hopefully. Comes down. Doesn't actually need to take the low. I don't need Bitcoin. Bitcoin bounced perfectly for my box. We do have an inducement. Anyways, I'm going back and forth. I'm rambling. That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is, well. Guys, things take time. Focus on one coin. Focus on what looks good. Don't let sentiment and wars and the perma bulls or whatever stop you from shorting if you want to short. Don't let the perma bears stop you from longing if you want to long. Stick to your plan. Create a plan. Stick to your plan. Fuck everybody else. You know, anybody that... Man, stick to the plan. That's it. This move, by the way, could take you to an all-time high. Bye. Peace out. One love. Shouts out to the Nexus.